Welcome to another fantastic episode of Small Business Celebration Meat and Potatoes, the show where we do a deep dive into one particular subject with one of our past guests from the main show. But we couldn't do this without a presenting sponsor and our location sponsor. At Oliver & Associates Real Estate, we know that buying or selling a home isn't just a transaction, it's a life moment. That's why they're committed to building relationships that last. They take the time to truly understand your needs, your dreams, your stories, so they can find you not just a house, but a home. Give Oliver Associates a call at 661-808-3444 or check them out at yourrealtor.us today. Today's Meat and Potatoes episode location is brought to you by Modern Gigi Gallery, an ultra-modern art gallery located in downtown Bakersfield, California, featuring the artworks of the modern abstract artist Johnny Ramos. Whether you're looking for artwork for your office, your home, or a postcard you can send as a thank you note, go to Modern Gigi Gallery located at 918th Street in Bakersfield, or give them a call at 661-374-7724 or email them at art@moderngg.com today. Welcome to another fantastic episode here on Small Business Celebration, and this week we've got Steve Holloway, the owner of Steve Holloway Painting. Welcome to Small Business Celebration Meat and Potatoes.
Thank you.
And for visionaries who don't know who you are you and what is it that you do?
My name's Steve Holloway, and I'm the president of Steve Holloway Painting Incorporated.
Now, for the visionaries out there who don't know, what kind of painting do you guys do?
We do buildings.
Okay.
So interiors, exteriors, and anything from the roof all the way down to the concrete.
Residential,
coatings.
Commercial?
Residential, commercial, some light industrial.
Really?
We just got done painting a caboose, a train caboose.
Really?
Can't ever really
So you've done
think
that
of
before?
anyone. I don't know who else has.
Sure, right?
But we painted a caboose.
Nice, nice. And you also do floor coverings?
We do.
And that is something that's extra special. Tell us a little bit about that.
The concrete coatings is special because it's Pintec. And there's a lot of companies out there. Our company is unique in that we're Pintec dealers. So you've got to become certified. And when you use Pintec products, you can only get Pintec products if you're a dealer.
Why is this so important? Is it because of its durability? Is it because of the colors? What is it?
It is so durable that the manufacturer gives the customer a limited lifetime warranty in writing. It's unheard of.
So I can go ahead and do an oil change that drips all over the concrete floor and it'll still be fine.
Yeah, we got to clean up the oil, but it'll be fine. The only thing that's going to eat up your floor is probably battery acid.
It takes battery acid to destroy this stuff?
We had an incident where a golf cart was getting charged.
Right.
And it was in a beautiful garage that we did. And I think my customer was cleaning the floor and kind of noticed something had probably moved the golf cart.
Right.
Hey, my detergent, whatever, the soap I'm using is taking up your floor. And I said, oh, you got to be kidding me.
Right.
So I ran out there and looked and became the detective.
Right.
Found the golf cart, found the battery charger, opened it up and said, oh, we got a little overflow problem here. That's
Sure.
battery acid. So we fixed it.
Right.
And that's another thing that makes us really unique. We will fix anything that we did. We'll fix anything we didn't do.
And you guys have even put in cabinets.
Yeah, we're very handy.
Wow. How'd you get into that?
Well, I've got a guy that, if you think about it, we're just taking your existing space. And so my license is painting and decorating.
Okay.
And if I take down an old cabinet and put up a new cabinet, my guys, one of my guys, Bobby, he's famous just because everyone knows Bobby.
Right.
And he was a framer.
Right.
He's a finish carpenter. So he helps me with maybe a door that warped, and he'll replace the door, wood rot on a fascia because the gutter leaked. And so that's just about on every job we do, there's something that we need Bobby for. And so, yeah, if you want a new cabinet, or we take down an old ceiling fan and we paint your ceiling, and you say, can you put this new ceiling fan back up?
Right.
Well, we took the old one down.
Right.
So we kind of know a little bit about the black and white wire and the green wire.
Stick your fingers here and hold there and don't turn on the light switch there.
But see, here we go again. We'll get up in the attic and we can brace that ceiling fan that's never had the brace.
Right.
So instead of just the little electrical socket holding it together,
right,
you know what I
right.
mean? So we'll put some 2x4s and brace it and give it something to, so it's not going to fall.
So where do you draw the line and say, okay, Steve, I love you going through, being a Minnesota Vikings fan, I want you to do yellow walls, purple trim, and purple and gold fleck on my floor, and take out this wall and move this door, and put in this garage door, and move the plumbing over here. Where's the line stop when you say, okay, you need to call somebody else for some of this?
Well, I know everybody in the business.
True.
And so I know all the good guys.
Right.
And so I'll just call King Door.
Right.
And I'll call whoever I need to call for whatever you need.
Right.
And we'll just handle it.
Now, the reason I've asked you to come join us this afternoon is because you do something that a lot of other business owners would just dream about. Every business owner knows when they start their business, go get a logo. Okay? And you spend an inordinate amount of time and energy and thought on putting into the design of that logo. And right there on your shirt, Steve Holloway Painters. And it's perfect. And it goes through and explains exactly what it is that you do. And it's really easily identifiable. What you've done really well with is what you do after that. For the visionaries who aren't familiar, you've got a great location. You've got the corner of M Street and
Right downtown. So we're 24th and L.
okay,
L is in Lucky.
exactly. The harder you work, the luckier you get.
Yes, sir.
Exactly. First of all, for visionaries who've never visited your location before, why do you actually use that corner? Because it gets a tremendous amount of traffic. What do you do on that corner?
We have fun. That's
True.
So that's the painter's corner.
Right.
And we just have fun. And I think I was with my wife visiting some of her family back in Carn City, Texas.
Right.
And I will never forget driving by, and there were some painters sitting on a little porch of a house, and the guy had his shop off to the side and his sign. And I thought, man, how cool would it be to have a little old house in town with a shop?
Right.
And so I just came across a friend that knew about that property. So I had the shop in the back on the alley. And back in the day, Harper Pools was on 24th and K.
Right.
So my little shop was hidden.
Uh-huh.
And there was fencing, and there was a guy that did mechanic repair, and a guy that sold appliances and whatever else. Well, really, even before that, back in the day, that building was it was an audio, like a car stereo place.
Right.
And it's a pretty famous place. So anyway, I just rented and then figured out how to buy that corner.
But it's what you do with that corner.
Yeah, we just have fun. I think the big roll-up doors,
Right.
and the fact that we weren't really using them to drive in and out, and then the signage and the ideas. So when I started painting, I would paint 6-7 days a week.
Right.
Continuously. I did that for 10 years.
Right.
And some days I didn't even talk. I just rolled walls and brushed and painted. And I mean, at the end of the day, I'd go to talk and go, oh man.
Paint's coming out of your
And
mouth.
I'm going to tell you something. When I was painting
Right.
and getting things done and kind of thinking about the next day, like if I even had a job,
Right.
I had more ideas in my head than you can ever imagine. And I wrote things down, and I'd look at things and go, that's pretty good.
Sure.
And I shared it with some friends, and I shared a lot of things with some friends. And you know, one guy's like, you ought to put that on a shirt. And I'm like, really? So 46 years ago, if you had a company shirt, you were Coca-Cola, you were Pepsi, you were 7-Up, you
Right.
weren't Steve Holloway Painting, you weren't a business. I mean,
Right.
you were McDonald's, you were,
Right.
you know, you saw that and went, wow, oh yeah.
Right.
And one day I walked in and talked to a guy, it's probably Webby at Wall Street T-shirt,
Right.
downtown on Wall Street.
Right.
I said, hey, I got an idea for a shirt, and he put it together, and here we are. Those shirts now are vintage, and I've kind of brought them back. But anyway.
One of the things that you also do so well with your branding is on your social media. Because, for example, when we did our interview with you last season, one of the things you showed us was that you went ahead and coated the trunk of a car.
Right.
And then you share that on social media that you guys did that. I mean, and then now you've gone through and you've painted a rail car on that. So where do you get these ideas to promote your brand?
I'm just proud of what I do. So I think the most beautiful part of what I do that I get excited for every day is the fact that I'm going to take something that my customer has. And I'm just going to make it as good as it ever was or better. And so the before and after picture speaks volumes.
Right.
And the during, that's just a lot of work. And knowing how to get from the before to the after, it's just because I was trained so well with my first boss, which was Mark Thompson, and he had Mark Thompson Painting. This is summer of '78. And I learned from guys that were journeyman painters. They had gone through the apprenticeship program, union trained, and there's steps. So it's almost like a 4-year apprenticeship. So I learned all that in about 6 months and then started my own little business. So
But these ideas you keep coming up with, where do they come from?
I'm probably one of those hyper kids. that thank God I have a job that I can physically work and move and go and do. I love to work, I love to sweat, and I can catch a second or third wind and just keep going. And then I just have ideas, and I just am not afraid to put them out there because I think it makes people happy.
And that's the key. Don't be afraid to put it out there.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with working hard and making people happy or being positive and productive and sharing some things. I was talking to a guy today. He was washing my car, and I was in the yard with him, and we were working. And I said, what we're doing right now is it's a little visible, and people on 24th and hour are driving by and looking, honking, waving, and we're just washing a car. Well, one guy pulls in, he goes, "Hey, you're doing car washes?" And so this gentleman, Tommy's Legacy, I said, "Yeah, they're washing cars. If you need yours done, just pull on in." And he said, "You got to be kidding me." He goes, "I can't do it now." But I said, "Well, look, he comes once a week. Tommy's Legacy is a men's Christian home that does a lot. I mean, they'll clean out your garage, do whatever." So just because we were there doing it, people notice people that are doing things. So they notice you if you're hustling. If you're just kind of, oh man, I'm going to sit around today and see if the phone rings. I hope it rings because I need some business. No, you got to get out there and go. And I don't care if it's sweeping the gutter, washing the windows, washing your car. I mean, do something and people are going to stop and go, "Hey, Mike, what's going on?" "Oh, hey, it's my new little building. I got my new little business. I'm just out here cleaning up." And well, what do you do? Next thing you know, full-on conversation. People are all excited. "Well, come give me a price. Come give me some ideas." And I listen a lot. So if you have ideas and you want to do your Minnesota Vikings room, and you've got all these ideas, I can do it, but I got to hear you tell me exactly what you think it's going to be or what you want. By golly, we'll do it.
And that brings us to the fortune cookie game. Now, Visionaries, if you're not familiar with the way the game works, I have a sealed fortune cookie here in my hand. I have no idea what the fortune is inside of it that it contains. And our guest here, he has to take this fortune cookie, open it up, break open the fortune, read the fortune, and add "in my business" to the end of the fortune and elaborate.
In my business.
In my business at the end of it. If you want me to, I'll hold some of the fortune cookie here for you while you read that.
There you go.
There you go. All right. And the fortune is?
Your gratitude will change the attitude of those around you in your business.
Ooh.
In my business.
And how so?
Okay, think about gratitude and think about attitude. And first of all, having a good attitude, it's free. And to say please and thank you is very, very, very gracious. That's gratitude. So thank you for the chance of giving me the opportunity to even look at your project. Thank you for the chance, for the opportunity to give you a price, give you some ideas, give you a budget. We can talk about scheduling, but thank you. Thanks for calling me. I get excited when my phone rings. I mean, I'm like, hey, how you doing? Steve Holloway, can I help you? Oh, this is Steve? Yeah, what do you need? You still answer the phone? Darn right I do.
Sure.
Well, you know, we were trying to text you, email you. I said, I saw all that, but I'd rather have you call.
I talk to people for a living.
But it's funny because if someone says, hey, I tried calling this guy, he won't answer. I said, well, send him a text.
Right.
So I don't know if we're getting into,
There we go. There we go.
So anyway, yeah, it's gratitude, and it'll change your attitude. So, and people around you, yeah, it'll rub off. I mean, just come in happy. Hey, how you doing? What's going on? Smile. Number one, people are going to wonder what you've been up to. Number two, if you're smiling and they're kind of like, you know, I wasn't having that great of a day. I don't know why you're always so darn happy. I don't know how else to be. I don't know how else to be, you know, so.
And Visioneers, now it's time for producer Emily to get her opportunity to show gratitude for our guest as well, because I know I do. Having you on is absolutely wonderful and fantastic, but the great thing about producer Emily is she is 180 degrees opposite of me in so many different ways, and this is a wonderful opportunity for Steve to be interviewed, to be asked the deep, thought-provoking questions from none other than producer Emily with Emily's questions.
And Questions by Emily is sponsored by Cazador Consulting. Need elite talent to grow your team? Cazador Consulting Group in Bakersfield is your go-to partner in staffing and direct hires. They don't just fill jobs, they build lasting partnerships by listening to your needs and delivering top-tier customer service. At Cazador, mutual success isn't a goal, it's the standard. This is more than staffing, it's building your team so you can build your business. Visit CazadorConsultingGroup.com or call 877-800-4622. That's CazadorConsultingGroup.com or 877-800-4622, and let's build your future together. And
Hello, Visioneers. Welcome back to Questions with Emily. I'm Emily. I've got questions, and if you've got questions, feel free, drop them in the chat now, and I will ask Steve. But for starters, I want to know, how do you get from painting for 10 hours a day to telling other guys to paint for 10 hours a day? You're going from working in your business to working on your business. What was the shift that helped you get there?
It was easy.
It was.
And this is why. I was doing a paint job one day, and it was only 3 doors, and I was doing the doors, and I had another job going, so my crew was over on job number 2, and I thought I'd knock out these 3 doors and then jump back in and help and or answer the phone and go talk to whoever wanted to hire me for the next day. And by 5 o'clock that night, I didn't have those 3 doors done. I started at 8 in the morning, but phone rang, or maybe it was my pager, so I kept having to leave.
You're going back and forth.
And my customer came home and said, hey, how you doing? Thought my doors were gonna be done today. I said, they'll be done today. And I grabbed my guys and said, come on over and help me do these 3 doors and get done. And so we tricked them all out, got done, got home about 7 that night. And I said, you know what? I'm just about done painting myself. I've got to let these guys do the painting, and I got to get ahead of the wagon train. So I've got to go look at things and answer phone calls. And
because 3 doors didn't normally take that long if you were just able to focus.
Yeah, I couldn't stay on the job. I couldn't ignore the calls. I couldn't ignore some questions. People needed me to come out and look at some things or change some things. And
was it hard to shift that in your head?
Very hard.
Very hard?
Very hard, because I loved doing what I do, and I just loved it. The painting trade is magical, because you start with something, and then when you're done, it's just so darn beautiful and shiny and perfect and pretty and straight lines, and everyone's excited. Everyone's excited. The colors, everything. So it was hard for me to trust the fact that I could give that up to some other really good painters. And they would do what I did or do. But once, I mean, it didn't even take a week to, like, you guys are really good. like, I need to go
step
get you
back
some more work.
and
Yeah.
see that they were actually doing a
Yeah.
good job.
Yeah. And you're afraid to pay the journeyman wage, you know, it's like, I don't know if I can afford that. Well, you can't like not afford to pay the good tradesman, the good mechanic, the good carpet, you know, cleaning company. I mean, pay them because they're good
They're worth their wages.
and go get some more work. Well, the next thing you know, we're, you know, scheduling things out for like a month.
Oh.
And now I'm trying to schedule jobs and promise people that I'd be there on Thursday, but
It gets a
I
little
wasn't done
crazy.
on Wednesday, so
So for a lot of people, they go from being the person running around, and it's a very active job, painting. And now you have to sit back and you have to sit down and answer phone calls and be at a computer. How do you go from that physical activity to having to sit?
so
Because people don't think about that.
right, and I stand at my desk and I like open windows, and I love talking to people, and I love going out to visit people. So I just have always been the guy, if you call me and then we make an appointment, I mean, I'm there. And then I'm going to give you a price that day, next day
So
at
you
the
went
latest.
then to just being the person that does the sales calls. So you're still active, you're still moving, but you went from painting the houses to
Right,
getting
not
jobs.
quite that easy because I would still jump in and paint.
Yeah.
And we weren't always that busy, so I'd really jump in and paint. And then worry about why the phone wasn't ringing, or did I miss a call, or
And realize you were the one that made the phone ring?
right. I don't know if I've ever realized that. That's a good point. Thank you. Yeah, you know, you just. Then I got some advice from a very, very good friend of mine who's in the floor coating business. At the time, I think he said, hey, don't be afraid to advertise. Even if you don't think you have the money, advertise.
Oh, okay.
Because you'll be okay. And
Because the more awareness, the
he
more
was
business.
right. He was right.
So what was your first bit of advertising that you did?
Oh, goodness. Probably the Yellow Pages phone book.
Okay.
That was a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that was a big deal. And then I remember T-shirts. I remember yard signs. I remember the first time I advertised on TV.
Oh.
And we were pretty busy, but I did a television ad, and then I had a potential customer call. Hey, is this Steve Holloway? I saw you on TV. Yes. You know, can you come out and give me a price? Sure. Came out, and this gal was like, I'm ready to go.
Oh.
And I thought, okay, we've got a couple of weeks worth of work. We'll be here in 3 weeks. She said, well, but you advertised. I thought you needed work. I need you. And
It was very effective advertising.
I was kind of like, oh man, well maybe I can go hire some more guys.
Oh.
So I did that, figured that out, and you got to figure that out. You got to hire the right guys.
So you had to say yes before you actually had the plan in place?
Well, I stumbled a little bit, you know, kind of like I just did just now. You stuttered a little bit, and you're like, oh man, okay, let me get this figured out. How about if I'm there by Friday? And she's like, oh, that'll work, as long as you're done by Tuesday. And I'm like, holy smokes, okay, all right, darn it. And this advertising thing really works. So I think the point is, if you're going to advertise and people see what you're offering, they're going to want it. So you better be ready to give them what they want.
But
you know.
you don't want to let it stop you from advertising. You
Right.
still want to be a
Right.
known face.
Right.
But then be prepared for the repercussions.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, everyone gets busy 2, 3, 4 months out. And I mean, I know painters that are busy for the next 6 months.
Yeah.
And they just go, hey, we don't know what to do. We're loaded up with work. I said, you're honest with people. This is where we are. This is what we can offer. We can give you pricing today.
Yeah.
And we can start in the middle of September.
I see.
And so if you make that deal and everyone go, oh, that'll work. That'll work. Yeah, or, hey, I got to have it done by August 1st. Well, okay, go do what you got to do, and in the meantime, we'll hold your space for the middle of October or September.
I see.
You know.
We had some questions in the chat. You want me to read them?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Robert asks, how have you seen your business model change over the years? Because the Yellow Pages to now is very different.
Right.
Social media versus Yellow Pages.
Well,
how's the business model changed?
So I never knew I was doing this in the phone book, but it's, you know, when it says painters, you're advertising against every painter in town.
Uh-huh.
And at the time, there was probably 50, 60 painters, 70.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And everyone's really good. So what do you do to catch someone's eye? And then social media was all about what we do, who we are, what we can offer. And our promise to you is we'll just be a very good partner. We'll start the job, stay on the job till we're done, till you're happy, make sure everything's perfect, right? And then after you're happy and we're done and we're all cleaned up, you know, you can go ahead and pay us. So there's that. I think, but social media, everyone's doing that. You know, everyone's trying to be first on the, and I'm not a big tech guy. I'm more of a physical, get out there, get in front of you, talk with you, measure. I have to touch, feel, see, and look at everything.
So the business model's not really changing, it's just the method of advertising.
Right. So I like local advertising. I like the Westchester Stroll magazine. I still like our t-shirts, our trucks. We've probably wrapped our trucks, and that was a big deal, wrapped our trailers.
Well, the Tesla you've got, that
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. I've got a little car that I scoot around in. That darn thing has about 160,000 miles on it. It goes everywhere. And I don't care where you are, I'll go right now and meet you, because I don't have to pay for gas, right? And then the Cybertruck, that's Cyrus, by the way, Cyrus the Cybertruck. And I think every little kid in town gets excited about the truck, and they know more about the truck than I do. So, but
That's still good advertising.
Yeah, it's fun. It's just fun to drive, and we just work hard, and we just keep on smiling and dialing and pedaling forward.
Yeah. Well, Jill says, what a great guy, a natural businessman. How long have you been in business, and what is the craziest project you've done?
So I started in the summer of '78.
Okay.
So if you do the math, I guess I'm around 46, 47 years. Yeah.
Getting close to the 50-year part.
Yeah, so think about half a century. Think about 50 years of doing something.
That's a lot of
Are you kidding me? And I've been married for 46 years.
Okay.
Piece of cake. So, remind me exactly what Jill wants to know.
Craziest project you've done.
Oh boy. Well, we've been invited to do some things that pretty unbelievable, really. But you know, I mentioned the caboose. It was an old rusted caboose that a guy had in his backyard, and it just, and I've probably talked about this before, but I mean, it was just rusting away, and it was like a he shed. And the wife's like, get that out of here. So they donated it to the Shafter Museum out there, and they called and said, can you restore this? And we figured out how to do it. So that was unique. Last year we painted the whole outside of the Fox Theater.
Oh, cool.
That was unique.
Oh, wow, that was you guys?
Yep.
Wow.
And we added colors, and we called out some architecture. So about 25 years ago, I painted the outside of the Wasco Auditorium at Wasco High School. And that building was built probably like the Fox Theater, 1929, 1930. And so you're reworking these things that are really old, really unique, but they were built during the Depression. And the craftsmanship is Rolls-Royce stuff. I mean, I've never seen, the trades that worked on those, I'd love to meet those guys and talk to those guys. You can't believe the engineering, the architecture, oh my gosh, you know. So we got to paint some really fun stuff inside and out, rebuild things that got wet, soaked, fell in. We had to redo a mural one time, and so I grabbed an artist friend and we reworked everything we could, and then she tied in the art part of it because it was like a mural for a family. So There's just so many projects we've done. And if anyone asked me today about some more stuff, I'd say, yep.
Did it?
Yep.
Well, the last question I have for you, this is for me. I want to know, what is the effectiveness of billboards? Because you guys have billboards everywhere, but people don't necessarily come in and say, I saw it on a billboard.
Okay, so my first billboard that I put together was on Rosedale Highway.
Okay.
And it was coming off of Rosedale back into town, so you're heading east. And I couldn't afford the big money billboard on the right side, so I could afford the one on the left side. So I put together some pinks and blacks and some really cool colors, and my logo and Steve Holloway Painting, interior, exterior, everything we did, cabinets, pressure washing. And that darn thing was up for 6 months. And I got calls for 20 years. Is this Steve Holloway Painting? You got the billboard on Rosedale Highway? I go, yes, I do.
So it really is effective. People do say, I saw the billboard.
To this day. To this day.
Wow. Well, that's good to know.
And then I think I put one of the same type of billboard out in right field at Sam Lynn Ballpark when I think the Bakersfield Dodgers were playing. It might have been the Seattle Mariners farm team. So, and I've just always supported sports, kids, local charities, and I just think it all helps. So, but billboards really do work. I'm sure you've noticed some billboards in town lately.
I was driving here to this location and I was like, oh, that's Steve's billboard.
There
I'm
you
going to
go.
talk to him today.
There you go.
Yeah, well, that's good to know. And so it's good to know for Visioneers, branding works.
It
Billboards
works,
work.
and don't be afraid to advertise. Don't be afraid to share what you do. And if people don't know what you do, you gotta educate them a little bit, but remind them. And I've had good friends call me, Steve, what are you up to? Hey, you're not still painting, are you? I'm like, are you kidding me? Wait, oh, I just had some work done. Are you still painting?
Of course I am.
Okay. This is getting serious. My friends don't even know I'm still painting,
Well, with that, how can people get in touch with you?
Well,
so that your friends and our Visioneers can contact you.
So we're in the 661 area code in Bakersfield, California. Best way to get a hold of us is call the office at 325-8520. So 325-8520. You can call us.
Okay.
You can go to our website at stevehollowaypainters.com. We're on Facebook. I guess we're just Steve Holloway Painting on Facebook, right? Is that?
That works.
There
Facebook,
you go.
Instagram too.
Yeah, Instagram, and
they'll just give you a call
But you can walk in. You can walk in our office. You can have some coffee. We're on the corner of 24th and L.
Okay.
So if I say from 24th to 25th Street, if I tell you 25th and L,
well, they'll see it.
come on up, come on in. Water, coffee, whatever's going on, Well, I mean, every time our mailman comes by, we give him water or snacks, and he brings the mail in.
I'll just have to come next time I need a coffee.
Anytime.
Thank you, Steve.
You're welcome.
And with that, Visioneers, it's a wonderful show. Feel free to tune into our main show that we have. This week, we had DJ Danny Hill on with Hill Broadcasting. We talked about community involvement for growth, effective advertising tips, and how to keep your customers loyal. It was a great episode, so join us for that, and we'll be back every Monday live at 5. Have a good week.